Here.
Brewer is absent. Minor.
Here.
Munn.
Here.
And Mills.
Here.
Okay, the first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the July 20th, 2022 meeting.
I move those be approved as submitted.
Is there a second? Approved. Any other discussion about those minutes? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is a reallocation of 2022 funds for the Front Street Plaza project. Is that going to be
Anybody here?
Adam?
I think Jay was going to be here to do it, but we're just asking to reallocate the funds so that we can pay for the bathrooms that won't be here until January. We're working on bollards now, hopefully have those done. So just whatever funds we have left at the end of December, we'd like to reallocate for next year.
You made a comment when we had the meeting last week.
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
workshop, but no, we'll call it a meeting. In the workshop, about, there was some we had to get clarification about the bollards.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So,
after the meeting, I realized I wasn't the one that presented last year, so
okay,
that's why I wasn't sure about the bollards themselves. But Tyronda sent the email,
okay.
315,000 bollards included, so we're gonna get those coming.
All right.
And none of that money's been spent.
None of it's been spent. It's all, as far as the restrooms, the contract's been signed and we're just waiting on delivery.
Okay.
So it'll be January.
Okay. Do we need a motion for that? Or any discussion?
I don't make the motions.
I asked, do we need one?
If you want to if you want to reallocate the money, then yes, we do.
The only hesitation I had is, it's been almost a year, and we were phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Well, phase 1 has yet to be even begun on, and this is phase 2, and it's been a year and we haven't begun on it yet.
I can tell you we bid out the bathrooms in May and awarded it right then. And it's taken that long for them to get into production.
And then a contract has been issued on the stage and all of that, and it has been approved.
And we approved those funds in February. I kind of have the same concerns. I mean, I'm okay with reallocating the money, but I have concerns about these phases that we were going to do this project in, and it was going to be 4 phases, and nothing's been done on 1 and nothing's been done on 2, and then, after you go sit back down and come back up here, you're going to want money for 3 and 4.
I understand.
So, I mean, I might be okay with reallocation, but I don't know about spending more taxpayer money on things that y'all haven't done from when you drive by. I hadn't even started. That's
I
my
understand.
thing.
I understand.
We have money in this one, we have money in 3 areas,
Yes.
8, 9, and 10. Parks, and Front Street.
All right. I'd like to make the motion to reallocate those funds as was previously designated in last year's approval of that, and with the understanding it gets spent in the way it was intended
Yes, ma'am.
in this next fiscal year. That's it.
Just for clarification, it wasn't last year when we allocated that money. It was the beginning of this year.
Right. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion? All right, if not, Tyrone, would you call the roll, please?
Cogburn,
Yes.
Varner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Munn,
Yes.
Mills.
Yes.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the 2023 late applicants, and there was only one, and they may not be here based on my comments last week. It wasn't just me.
I think with Brewer gone, we couldn't do it anyway.
Okay. They are not here, so we will move on now to, well, I actually skipped over, they were actually late, but I guess I just covered that. So 2023 funding requests, and up first, Mayor.
Alan Brown, I am here representing the Live United Bowl. Jerry could not be here tonight. Jerry has personal reasons that he couldn't be present tonight. So the request has been sent in. I understand from him maybe there was some questions about spending or allocations or something. What we requested this year was $30,000. And I'm open for questions.
So I think the question that I had last time had to do with his numbers that were presented in the packet, and then the numbers that he handed us at the meeting.
And within what respect? The budget,
So in the packet, well, just for example, the hotel expense, what he handed us was 12,000. In the packet, it says 10. And then in the meals, what he handed us is 8,000, and the packet was 3,000.
I think the discrepancy in that respect is, one, we've never really received the money that we have, the entire amount of money that we've requested from A&P each year. So certainly those expenses, when we don't have the money, we can't spend it. So what you actually see on our expense allocations is what we actually spent. Budgeting this year, it was our understanding that the second form of paperwork that we completed for the bowl game was to how would we spend the 30. If we get it, that's how we would spend it. If we don't get it, then we won't be able to pay all of those expenses we pay. But over the past, when you look at the $30,000 allocated, our expenses don't vary very much. We certainly have had increased food costs like everybody else has when we feed the teams, and they incur that same amount when they come. But that's just we were under the impression we were supposed to supply you with something that tells you how we would spend the 30. On our budget proposal, we would have only spent that amount of money because we're not anticipating getting all 30. If we get all 30, that's how we will spend it, is we will spend roughly $12,000 on hotel rooms, $8,000 on meals, and our current marketing. And that doesn't count our promotional items or anything like that. That is money that we would spend on actually advertising the event, to try to sell tickets, to try to get people to town, that kind of stuff. I mean, this would be our 11th year. This would be our 10th game. I think that in previous records, as you would see, is reflected on all of our expense reports that we turn in. We justify every dollar that the bowl game has been presented by A&P, double or more. Which means if we get 20, we're spending $40,000 to $50,000. And I always like to point out too, and Huck does as well, that's only what we're spending. We're not talking about what our fans and what our teams spend, because we cannot pay all of these teams' expenses when they come to town. So they're doubling and tripling that. Crossroads is always 95% full, along with some hotels on the Texas side, simply because we can't house all of those people on the Arkansas side. So we're justifying, in my opinion, in Huck's opinion, we are justifying the money that we are getting in the method in which we're supposed to, and that is this tax is derived from hotel expense and from restaurant expense, and we're putting it right back into those, and we use 100% Arkansas properties to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Anybody have any more questions? Okay.
You didn't have a power presentation or anything, did you?
No.
We
No, I don't.
didn't even ask.
Okay, next is Partnership for the Pathway.
I'm Julie Ray Harrison, and I'm with the Partnership for the Pathway. And our major fundraiser, actually actually, pretty much our only fundraiser, is the Run the Line Half Marathon. And A&P has been very generous. 15 years that we've been able to put this on. I say 15 years. There was the year before last, due to the COVID. We had to cancel the race, and you may all remember, it snowed in Texarkana that week. We had, speaking for our house, we had 13 inches of snow. Thank goodness we didn't have 600 runners here. So what I wanted to share with you today, one partially is, this is our medal for 2023. This is one of the things that, this is one of the things that we specifically said we would be spending A&P money. What I would like to clarify on is that we are guessing in advance how many of everything we need. We are hoping for 600 runners, so we have ordered 600 medals. So we can't keep this one.
Only way I get to hold one.
Rachel can run it, and you can hold it.
Yeah, plenty of hers.
So this is one of the things. The other thing is our T-shirts for our runners, and we buy those locally. We make a point of doing that. We buy as much as we can locally. These are not local, but most everything else is in fact local. And we don't know how much T-shirts will be going up, as everything is going up. But A&P will be huge in helping us pay both for the medals, which we've already paid for, and the T-shirts. Does anyone have any questions?
How much does Run the Line give back to the city of Texarkana, Arkansas?
Well, it all depends. Most recently, the check we wrote was for over $185,000 to the city of Texarkana, Arkansas. We are a 501c3, all volunteer organization, so 99% of what we are able to collect, earn, so forth, that goes to the two cities, both cities.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? All right, thanks, Julie.
Well, we want to thank you. If it hadn't been for the A&P, I don't know what we would have done the first year. And as we've continued to be fortunate enough to receive funding, thank you very much.
Okay, Arts and Historic District.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here, letting us present this evening. I did make a PowerPoint presentation, and I turned it in late. I apologize about that, Tyranda. All right. So we just wrapped up our community caravan. Many of you might have seen it last week. We went to the Regional Arts Center, to TLC Burger and Fries. We went to Cross Ties. We looked at downtown murals. Went to Pecan Point, and we had a lot of, and then also we included a lot of advertising for Oktoberfest on the line. Could you go to the next slide, please? Oh, cool, neat. I'll do it then. Thank you. All right. So this is the coverage map for KTBS. 54% of, well, I mean, you can read that there, but 54% of homes are in Louisiana. But you see there 27 and 14 for Texas and Arkansas. And then that kind of shows how they're coming into the household, how people are watching. All right, so this is the overall budget, and I talked about this a little bit in the workshop last week. The community caravan is $2,000. First Cup, which is similar to community caravan but a different program, Spirit of Christmas will be a 30-minute show showing downtown how we decorate for Christmas and different events going on downtown. That's still forthcoming, it hasn't happened yet. Our advertising schedule, production spots, and then our tower cam that's on the landmark building right now that shows the courthouse. And that's actually, the background is the tower cam shot. All right. This was our totals of just everything that for the year. So our tower cam, just kind of hitting the high points. Our tower cam has over 221 hours of website view time. And at any given point, since it's half funded by Farmers Bank, and then the other half is split between A&P and City of Texarkana, Texas. Down there at the bottom, is there a laser on this thing? Yeah, check that out. Right there is where the logo is, so for half of the year. All right, and then that's just a better image of the tower cam. So at any point in time, it would either have y'all's logo or the Arts and Historic District logo. And then this is a video that's 15 seconds. I don't know how much time I have left, but how do you do that? Can you? Yeah. This is just a 15-second video that they would use to book in ads on their 6 a.m. news, p.m. news.
If it happens in Texarkana, it happens downtown.
So those commercials have been shown throughout the year. We also have web ads and all those things. So yeah, basically we're hoping to renew that KTBS spotlight for 2023.
That one's an all or nothing thing, right?
What's that?
It's all or nothing.
Yes. Yeah. I've asked them if we can cut the fat a
No,
little
that's
bit.
fine. I just wanted to, I wanted to remind everybody so we don't end up with
Sure.
4,500 on here.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else? No? Okay, thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Airport.
All right, well, thank you very much for having me. I'm with the airport. My name's Paul Merrill, I'm the director out there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing and then our request and why. Let's see if I can get this to work. Click the arrow. Click the arrow. There we go. All right, so we have what's called a catchment area. It essentially is Little River County, Cass County, Bowie, and Miller County, and that's what we would expect to be getting the passengers for aircraft. The numbers I have from, I guess it's this direction, these are from 2019. You can see that we were only capturing about 12% of the market at the time. A lot of the people were driving out to Dallas directly, and as a result of that, they end up staying at hotels out in that area and going to their restaurants. You can see at this point, we were only losing about 3% to Shreveport, but we believe that there's been a shift in that as the low-cost carrier has been growing down there. I will get this. There we go. And then as you're aware, we are building a new terminal building. It is set to open in 2024. This is going to be a new 40,000 square foot building and have jet bridges with it. This is above view. You can see we're building a brand new parking lot area. The apron itself is actually designed to hold 737 aircraft, so that way we can attract a low-cost carrier like an Allegiant, a Frontier, a Breeze, one of those type of things. That would then be able to fly to other markets smaller. These pictures are from last week. You can see we've now gotten the roof up. We're making good progress. We are on track to open in summer of '24. Also, good news was that American Airlines, this was the aircraft that had been flying forever. It was just a 3-row aircraft. We've recently upgraded to a CRJ 700, which for the first time has provided us with first-class seating. So we have had some good stuff happen over the last year. And that's actually a picture from inside, where you can see they have the nice mood lighting and everything for it. What you may have also heard across the year was that we had been awarded a grant. It was called a Small Community Air Service Development Grant. It gave us $840,000 from the Department of Transportation. We ended up putting in about $150,000 on top of that, and that allowed United Airlines to come in and give us service to Houston. That service started on February 13th, and in 3 months they made the decision that they were going to end service, which was not a lot of time for us to try to build up momentum for it. At the time that they made their decision, they were doing about a 40% load factor, and they had indicated there just was not enough people utilizing it. So during that time, you may have also noticed around town the digital billboards started showing a lot of information about Shreveport. They've made a big push into our market and have made sure that people are aware of their low-cost carrier. They'd opened new routes to Los Angeles, to Orlando. They had the one to Las Vegas, and then they do a seasonal one to Destin. And they've been using their dollars to push against us. In losing United, it makes it harder for us to get those grants from the Department of Transportation. It makes it harder for us to go and convince an Allegiant Airlines to come out, because they're going to want to figure out why the other one failed before they come in. It's harder now because we no longer have access to that Houston area to draw economic development and travelers from, which then limits what type of businesses might connect with us, which then equates out to less money to our local economy. Online. Okay. So yeah, we've been getting a lot of pushback from Shreveport. Big thing to know about that is what we do in an entire year, they do in a single month for emplanements. That means that they have about 10 times the amount of marketing dollars that we have access to. And they've been using that to not only have digital billboards, but they went ahead and got a permanent billboard off of what is going to be our exit off of I-49. And they've been sponsoring events up like the Hope Watermelon Festival. And we realize that you may not see it up front, but when we lose passengers to Shreveport, that means that they take those dollars with them to the local hotels and restaurants for when they take the flights from there. So if we want to be able to have flights to new cities, if we want to get American Airlines to fly to Charlotte, if we want to keep American Airlines or if we have United or someone to keep them here, if we want to have the larger aircraft that are nicer, more comfortable, and have more daily flights, then we're going to have to get more people to fly from our airport, and that does directly translate to more dollars for our restaurants, our hotels, rental cars. So I want to see if I can. I'll just get to what my request was.
Well, I think
I'm sorry. Yeah.
5 minutes is up. But where were y'all last week?
We actually had down that today was the workshop, and next week was going to be the presentation. And so because of that I was initially planning on this being the workshop, and I apologize for that.
There was a thing that went out that had those dates on it.
I know, I had to ask when the meeting was because I had 3 dates down.
And that was all for advertising, right?
That's
Rick?
correct.
It's all for advertising.
you budgeted a total of 100,000 for advertising
Yes,
and asking us for 40
that's correct.
of the 100?
No, that is where we didn't know whether or not we would do it, so we don't have that as a,
Okay. So then you would want to do 140. Okay, I don't have anything else. Does anybody else? All right, thanks. Coffee? There you are. I'm looking for you.
It's not coffee, it's coffee supply.
Oh, yeah, it's coffee cups. Sorry.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, just to tell you, the reason why I wasn't here this last week was I was in Little Rock in a meeting, so I was in class all week. So I didn't get to come to the workshop.
Are you just going to ask for, or you're the
I'm the manager at the Texarkana Welcome Center
I-49?
on I-30.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, sorry. So usually we have 2 requests, and there's only 1 this year.
She only usually asks for 600 on that other one.
Yeah, the other one, I think
Yeah.
she only asked for like 400 or something like that. She has gotten, supplies other place, some other place, her money, so, it's just me.
Okay.
So, we're asking for $3,500, for the year, and that's usually what we do. Without the A&P funding, we couldn't serve the customers. The visitors love to have the coffee. So, like I said, without y'all's help, I couldn't do it.
Good numbers.
And I believe I already, brought in all the paperwork that's needed.
Yeah, we have.
Well done.
Oh. I don't have any questions. Does anybody else? All right. No, thank you.
Okay,
Self-explanatory.
thank you.
We might need some sunglasses.
I'll tell it down here at the bottom. Okay,
Running WJ, they're here.
ultimate challenge.
Is,
Yeah, number 6.
oh, okay, that's right. I skipped.
Good evening, folks. I guess I need to play quick. We always try to put together.
All right, fans,
You want me to play it?
Yeah, go ahead.
get ready. Greg Orr Classic and Choctaw Casino proudly present the 4 States Ultimate Challenge Shootout. That's right. Professional bull riders, February 12th, 7 p.m.
at the 4 States Fairgrounds in Texarkana, Arkansas.
Come see 30 of some of the best professional bull riders in the world. For ticket information,
Go to 4statesfair.com.
and don't miss the 8th annual 4 States Ultimate Challenge Shootout, February 12th, 7 p.m. at the 4 States Fairgrounds in Texarkana, Arkansas.
That was last year's commercial. We run commercials that be similar to that again this year, as well on social media and hopefully some TV ads this year. We've also presented y'all with the radio proposal. I'm still waiting on stuff from Mr. Bundy there out of Deepland, and I can get that to you as well. We've been requesting that last week. This radio marketing proposal from Town Square Media is going to give us way lot more than what we've normally got for, the price that you see on that sheet there. That's not counting what we'll spend, like on TV with Channel 6 as well, that we asked for. And then, with Mr. Bundy and them, I think we've got about 1,500 budgeted in for the 3 stations that he owns as well. And, for most of the folks that don't know, this bull riding has turned into one of the premier bull ridings in the 4-state area. In a 3 to 4 hour radius, outside of Dallas and Lufkin, and, I would say down the street, where they don't even do one in Shreveport anymore, has become the largest bull riding within a 3 to 4 hour radius of there, and has almost became, if not, the largest bull riding in the whole state of Arkansas. So we're very proud of that.
Okay, so you said that the paper that you have, you handed us here, the Town Square
Yes.
bid or budget is 7,000
Yes.
plus 1,500 for KDQN.
Yes, and his 3 stations have been a couple thousand for, TV.
Okay, that was my next question.
Town Square Media also has a deal that you see on there, the commercial on the streaming TV. I'm gonna check into that a little bit more. You see 17,000 commercials there, but I still would like to spend some on Channel 6. I think still a lot of people that does get the streaming TV, that watch the local weather, that's where we're gonna market our ads on. And then, it's not on my budget sheet there, but we have been trying to get away from the Texas County Convention Center for a couple of years due to my contract that we no longer have with them. I want to reach out to the other local hotels there that are not affiliated with that convention center for our host hotel, and I would like to kind of, if we can, maybe spend $1,000 there for some of our rooms. I spend anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000 on hotel rooms, just myself and my personnel.
And how many people came last year to the, how many tickets you sell?
Anywhere between 3,000 and 4,000. I mean, that's what that building seats, and it's almost capacitated when you do. And it's grown every year, so. I'd like to see 5,000 people in that building, where the fire marshal goes up one finger and the investigation.
Right, anybody have anything else? Okay, thank you.
I sure appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Again.
Okay,
You just signal, I'll click it, 'cause I don't think that's working.
Good afternoon, and can I just say thank you for allowing us time to have any discussion over our request?
Is it working? You have such a soft voice, and I know some of us up here don't have great ears.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. So, again, thank you for allowing us this time. I would just like to start by telling you a little bit more about the ranch itself. So, first and foremost, the ranch's mission is to uplift the special needs community, those that are both physically and mentally disabled, and then bring them together with the rest of the community. We are all about community empowerment, empowering everyone to be the best version of themselves that they can be in every way possible through physical, verbal, social improvement. Whether it's the volunteers, the staff members, the children themselves, we strive to connect the communities and to see growth in everyone because we very much value the support we get from our community all the way around. Thank you. So why did we choose a barrel race? Well, we chose a barrel race because it is an extremely popular sport that many will travel far and wide for. The biggest thing that draws people to Texarkana for this race is the added $50,000 from Future Fortunes, which is promoted on their website as the Super Championship Tour number 3 run in WJ Barrel Race. The next closest race at a 10 grand add-in is in DeRidder, Louisiana. So we are positioned in a very good spot to draw in people from a larger range of states. People will spend time out in the communities looking for food and drink and shopping opportunities because there is a lot of downtime. So people will want to go out into the community and see what there is to offer. So last year, in terms of numbers, we had 1,118 entries and rented 912 stalls. The stall count does not include the day runners, which are the people that come in for the day and then go home. That will be your local entrance. In total, we had people from 14 different states: Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, Colorado, Mississippi, Missouri, New Mexico, and finally, Nevada. So the biggest thing that we like to do is emphasize our local restaurants and stores and feed stores, and just not only promote our interests, but the interests of the city itself and the people that help make the community what it is. Because without our community, we cannot be where we are and do what we do. So finally, I would like to give you examples of what the funded materials would look like. So first, I know last week at the workshop, you had a question about the photo notebooks. So this is what the A&P Commission actually funded previously in the notebooks. And with the logo would be in the exact same place, and then we would have 3 or 4 pictures of our students like so throughout the pages. So this is actually from, how many years ago?
2018, I think.
From 2018. So it shows that people don't just throw these things away. They take it with them and they really do use them. So next would be the hats. The hats would have our logo here, and instead of the Cooper Tire logo, it would be the A&P Commission logo. And finally, we have the t-shirts. So for the t-shirts, we would have this design displayed on the front with the ranch logo on the back, and the A&P Commission logo would be present on the right sleeve of the shirt. That way it is not overwhelmed by any other graphic design and does not look small in comparison, or it is very visibly seen. So what we strive to do with giving out these kinds of materials is give people something they can go home with, that they are not just going to throw away, and allow them to feel like they're
I know last week we talked about the hats being a high-end quote that you provided.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to get a different quote that's not so?
Last time we talked to him, he said it was gonna be, like $1 or more cheaper. So he was thinking, wasn't that 600?
$745?
So when he called back, it was like in the $5 range. So he was pretty confident on that.
For 2,000 of them?
Yes.
Anybody have any other questions? Ms. Barner?
No, I was looking at these financials, but they always confuse me.
Do you know what we allocated, prior to things kind of,
I don't think y'all gotten anything from us in a while, have you?
yeah, not in a while, before things kind of went south with your financials?
I do have it listed. The last time we received funding was in 2018 at the amount of $19,000.
Was that for Lucky Dog, or was it for the other one?
It was spent on venue hosting expenses, for
Our barrel race.
our barrel race, and then there was 13,962 spent on Night to Shine.
Have we ever funded, not to shine you, have we ever funded these promotional items? I mean, I guess we did because our logo's in there.
Yes, sir. Part of that was $5,038, which was included in the hosting expenses
Okay.
at that time.
I don't have anything else. No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm back. I'll be here for a while. I brought my water.
We should have taken a restroom break before you got back.
We
up.
can if you want to. My name's Adam Dalby, the Parks and Rec Director. First request is just the general request for parks.
Okay, now, that 191,515 is already a done deal. Is that right, Sharon? Okay, so,
Yeah, y'all confused
So-
me on this because
it- me too. So it's, I don't know why that's always in there, but,
we won't put it in there next year.
okay.
Tyronda said put it in there. So, we just wanted to make sure it was there so that everybody saw it. Little presentation for you. A lot of stuff that we maintain, I've got maintenance guys, I've got 7 employees. 4 of them are work release, 3 of them are full-time. We've got our Merdansby Pondexter Sports Complex. It's our softball complex that has, this year, the softball league had 358 players, which ended up being 31 teams, and about another 120 coaches volunteered. Around 12 tournaments, averaging 20 to 30 teams at it. We do all the maintenance on the fields. We drag, we chalk, and then we also are there at tournaments to help with trash and maintaining the fields while games are going on. You got me? Here's some more pictures of the field. The league does a first responders appreciation tournament. We do a knock cancer out of the park tournament. So the top left picture was the first responders tournament. We put stars around everything. And then the bottom one was the knock cancer out of the park. Did pink lines all of October. Our work release program, they do anything and everything that we ask them to, whether it's dragging fields or spreading mulch in playgrounds. It's a great labor source for us. They even laid out the new gym floor in the rec center. It took them 4 hours, which was pretty impressive. We got it in the day before our city Christmas party, and I said, let's do it. So, before and after picture of mulch in the playgrounds. That the mulch is another thing that A&P helps fund. That $60,000 line item, that's part of that. Picking up trash in the parks, if we weren't there, that's what it would look like. That was a picture taken a few years ago where we weren't at all the tournaments every day and picking stuff up. Again, there's Front Street with trash everywhere. My guys, they repair docks. This one, we thought it was only a few boards that were bad. Pulled them up, the whole thing was. So ended up pulling all of it out, putting new wood. A&P paid for all of the wood and of course the work release guys. Lakeside Pavilion at Bobby Ferguson, it gets rented out almost every weekend. So we have to maintain it. We have to go and clean it every Saturday, every Sunday. Another picture of the lake. There's Les Munn and Michael Bryan spending some of their extra time. They help clean out the lake. The kid, that ended up being a 5-pound bass in the lake. The fishing there is exceptional. You wouldn't believe it, but it's exceptional, whether it's bass or catfish or, Arkansas Game and Fish stocks it every month with catfish, and in the winter they stock it with trout. You can go out there any time of the day and there's people there fishing, or walking the trail, just utilizing the park altogether. The gazebo gets rented out regular for weddings and baby showers and things like that. And then the playground gets used all the time. Next year, what we have coming up at the softball complex is Cowart Sports Event, 7th Annual North versus South Red River Classic. The last time she came and did a tournament, there was over 50 teams over a 3-day period. And I think it brought, go to the next slide, please. There's the parking lot, and next slide. They brought, it was a direct impact of $278,000 to the city. Hotel tax impact was $2,500. So she's coming in March, and then I've got another Diamond Elite Fast Pitch coming in June for a 3-day tournament as well. And then our local league tournaments that average 20 to 30 teams, and that's at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. Any questions on that?
Is the Red River Classic going to be held in Texarkana, Texas?
It'll be held on both sides, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Your ad just said Texas on there, so I didn't want to.
It said Arkansas and Texas.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, with 50 teams, you have to have 2 to 3 complexes at least. On the softball and the baseball too, we work very well with both sides to bring bigger tournaments into town. Any questions on that one?
Well, can we talk about the additional people you want to hire?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm having a problem there.
So I'm not asking for additional people. I'm just asking you to cover salaries on people I already have.
Yeah, and right now, that's being paid by the city.
Yes.
How many are full-time?
Both of them.
Both of them?
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, to me, that should be a city thing. I mean, for a long time, ever since I've been on this commission, and probably the reason I'm on this commission is because I did not support long-term projects, 15, 20-year projects.
Right.
And this is one of those, because it's something that you're going to have to do every year. And, 2 years ago, we didn't give out any money.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and it was tough 2 years ago on parks. I mean, we tightened our belts and pinched pennies as best we could.
yeah, so for me, that's not something I'm in favor of.
And this number we're looking at, is this part of the municipal auditorium thing that we were
No,
talking about?
no, municipal auditoriums are different. That's the last one. This one is just the park's general repairs, maintenance.
I'll be honest with you, you've overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make
There's
sure.
so much here to look at,
What we're
and
focusing
some
on.
of it's just like this, and,
And it's
We can
1.1 million, and that doesn't even include the baseball fields. It's a lot.
It is. I agree.
and how much,
Rhonda, in the past, for this general
yeah,
park operations
Whatever you
budget,
wanna
what have
call
we
this
done?
one.
We just allocated one amount to parks.
Right.
And it was, unless it was for a specific project, it was like, Adam, you used that to maintenance and whatever you need for parts as needed.
Do you know what the number's been?
Yes.
Last year was 50.
So, last year, he was given $25,000 for the rec center, and then he was given $200,300 for parks.
300?
$200,300.
200,000.
And
So
that-
basically
that
200.
was That was the salaries included in that, correct?
So basically, this request, last year, we gave him 200,000.
Yes,
Okay.
and then the rec center was $25,000.
But,
The lights was one
but
thing.
that did,
Yes.
did
The
that
light,
include?
the lights for Pond Dexter were included in that
They did
200,000.
include it. That's in addition, the 191 in addition to the 200.
Okay, so the 191 that we give for the park superintendent
Is in addition.
is in addition to that
Yes.
200?
So basically, if we want to kind of figure out how this right here, this request for the 500 and something thousand would basically be the park allocation of the 200,300 plus that money that they gave for salaries last year.
191.
Yes, so those two together would be this request. And then his next
So
request
all these
for the rec
others
center.
are new.
Like, all of this, that 200,000 included, okay. So if you flip over to the second page of his request, there's $140,000 for, I'm not, sorry, the second from the last page of his request. Yeah.
Okay.
7, the Pond Dexter, and then capital.
Is that capital outlay of $140,000. Last year, his capital outlay was for lights at Pond Dexter Park.
Right.
So that's why he got the 200,400.
I got you.
So basically, his request, this 594, his request really is 302. And so if you're comparing what you gave him last year to what you gave him this year, out of that 302, you gave him 200,000.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or did I overcomplicate?
I'm still confused.
Okay, so his total request for parks is 594,000. Of that 594, you've already allocated 191, which is the salaries. After that allocation, there's 302 left that he's still requesting. If you're trying to compare what you gave him last year to this request, you gave him $200,000 of that 302.
Okay.
And so then we start over with the 594. With the 102 that is left.
Say that again?
We start over with the 594 when
Oh, no, ma'am, what I,
302, okay.
no, ma'am, what I was doing was just trying to show what you gave him last year and how that breaks down to this request.
Right.
So the 594 is the total amount, and that includes what you've already given him for salaries of 191.
Okay.
After you take away the salaries that you've already given, his request really is for 302,000.
But
That's
how
what he's actually requesting.
But why is he saying 594 if we've already
Because-
given him the other?
He always asks for those salaries in there every year, so we won't put it in there next year. When he's working on his request, I'll tell him, don't put those salary numbers. And he puts those in there to show, okay, these are the salaries that are being paid for out of A&P.
Like that 191 will be there.
Yes, the 191 is already allocated.
How do we already allocate it if we're just deciding on it?
Because it's one of those recurring expenses for A&P.
Oh.
A&P signed a
It's one of those
contract for more salaries.
long-term deals that I don't want to get into with two more employees.
We locked into that.
That's why. So
So
if you look, so I think what Tyrona's
That
saying, so
leaves-
if you take the
if you
594 and you subtract out the 191 and the 100, you get 302.
Yes,
What other 100, what are you talking about?
Those salary?
The other two salaries.
Yes.
no, if you take away that other one, then you're actually down to,
Well, my 594, 456 minus 191 is 402.
And then minus
yes,
the
and when you
100.
take away that other 100, that's how you get to the three.
And you get the 302.
You mean the 100 that we haven't heard yet on number 9?
No.
100 on
additional
number,
salary.
on number
Talking about
2.
number 2
Yes.
on that,
Okay, okay.
so it's actually 302.
302 is what he's asking for outside of salaries.
Yes. One of those salaries is new, so one of the salaries is automatically included and the other one's not.
Say that.
So one of the salaries, the 191 is the
Yes.
automatically included.
Yes.
Number
The
one's
The
automatically
100.
included.
100 is not,
Right.
so.
So what he's asking for capital and maintenance and things for the parks outside of salaries is the 302,000.
So what you did was take out the second salary. Yes, I have to take out this.
So what number do you want us to write down? Do you want us to include the number that has the 191, 515 on it on our sheet or not?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So,
Just to make it easier and simpler, don't include the 191 on your sheet.
okay. We're gonna send him home with Julie Ray next year.
Take out the,
I didn't add that one in the beginning.
take out that number you did.
I took the big number. I took that number. Subtracted that. You're right.
Yeah, I know.
At least it's
Gonna be
gonna be.
perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
You know, I don't, do we need to vote on these salaries, on this additional salary?
On the additional salary,
Yes.
you'll just do it through your A&P allocation on whether or not you're gonna fund those additional salaries or not.
But that's not, but there's no line item for that on our sheet,
On your sheet,
right?
So, yeah.
I mean, there's no place for me to write down a
Right
zero.
right on the side,
Yeah, like everything else, you.
not gonna fund number
You
2.
fund some stuff and don't fund others.
I know, but there's a blank here to write down the
One
number.
number.
okay,
And
so.
then
what you
it's
can-
up to Adam to decide how to divide it up, and I don't want that to happen.
Well, this is the thing, if, when we get to the end of it, and you know how we go over the amounts, and we specify this amount can only be used for this. We can specify at that time, or you can say, we're choosing to fund one position, not two, and we can go through it at that time.
because what we've been doing is an average.
Yes. So, just do me a favor, that at the bottom of your sheet, you got that part for that late applicant. If you want to do the salary portion of it, just write it down there and I'll know exactly what it's for. Does that help?
Okay.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not. I got 3 more presentations.
No, I mean after.
I'm not.
I don't think we're on time.
No.
Your overtime.
All right.
Okay, the rec center,
Rec Center, we're asking for $100,000, $60,000 for programming and general maintenance, $25,000 for exterior paint, and $15,000 for a storage building. This is pictures of the grand opening. Had a great event, had about 200 to 300 people there. Had a softball camp, football camp, basketball camp, and then a lot of people from the community there as well with their booths. Breakfast with Santa from the year before, be another big event this year. This was Breakfast with the Easter Bunny. We had about 60 people come through for it, and had a lot of giveaways. The big Easter eggs on the top picture in the middle, and we did pancakes, sausage, all that kind of stuff for that. This was the Kid-tastic summer camp. 15 kids over 4 weeks, had them all day long. I'd like for us to do that in 2 sessions this year and have 8 weeks, have even more kids there for that. Next slide. We had fall and spring job fairs, a community event, around 30 vendors and around 200 people that came through. More community events. We had a community yard sale. We've got a quilting workshop going on. The Texarkana Stompers drum line, which is 15 to 20 kids at it. Health Fair Coalition Health Fair. 3D printing workshop that was put on by the museum system. And then a Be Like CJ clothing giveaway. Had several people come to that as well. College fair, the first one we did was in the spring. Had about 30 universities there for that. We're just trying to provide a place for people to come and get information and other things. We've got some senior stuff going. This Drums Alive. There's another one called I can't remember the name of it, but it's Ageless Grace, that's the name of it. It's seated exercise classes. And then we've had ballet. We've got a free taekwondo class going on Saturdays. We do open gym 3 nights a week. There's the dance fitness, and we've had yoga in there as well. Different civic meetings, the city manager's breakfast, which had about 50 people at it. Miller Bowie Health Coalition has their monthly meetings there. And then we've had the comprehensive plan visioning meeting. The chart you see up at the top is just recreation center rentals by type. And I'll go through some of that. Fitness type classes, we've had 18 type classes for that. 4 family reunions, 5 baby showers, 22 birthday parties, 37 different meetings, 339 ball field rentals, and 19 under other. Other would be, there's been some fraternities and sororities that rented space as well.
Adam, of these events held at the rec center, which one of these would you say would be bringing tourists into Texarkana? It seems like these are community events.
Most of them are community events, yes.
And so they're not really driving tourists.
The last major event we had, and it was on 2 Saturdays, was a Hindu dance festival. There was cars from Tennessee, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and that's just what I saw walking through the parking lot that day. About 200 people in the gym that day.
That's true. Tyrone, did you say that we did 25,000 last year for the rec center?
Yes.
Okay.
And that goes towards our summer camp supplies, paper, stuff like that. And then the different events, the breakfast with Santa, the breakfast with the Easter Bunny, all that type of stuff. So, yes, rec center is more community-based than anything.
Any other questions about the rec center? Why does the brick need to be painted?
Why does
Why
what?
does the brick need to be painted?
It's old and it looks bad, in my opinion. We want to spruce up the outside. The inside, so people drive by it and they see the old Boys and Girls Club. They go inside and they're like, wow, y'all did an amazing job. You would never think it by looking at the outside of the building. So, curb appeal.
Any other questions about the rec center?
Who pays for the program? I mean, who pays for all the programs now that are held at the rec center?
A&P paid for most of it last
We
year.
did last year?
Yes. CDBG pays for some of it as well.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is the Front Street Plaza. I'm gonna make a suggestion, I don't wanna do this, that's fine, but I'm gonna suggest that we put this portion off until sometime next year,
That's fine.
when,
Whatever you want to do.
when some work has been done. You might get a more favorable vote
I
out of me, I
understand.
don't know about anybody else.
I
but-
understand.
Can we table it to January?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. Works for me.
Do we have to have a motion to table that?
I'll make a motion.
You have to, well, you can call a special meeting to consider it when he,
well, we have a regular meeting in January,
So
right?
I'll just put it
Yeah.
on the next agenda.
All right.
Save some time there.
For me. Auditorium?
Yes.
Hold up on the amount.
Yeah, you won't be here though.
What?
Sorry, I said you won't be here. This is her last meeting. Yeah. You could come and fly.
Bring refreshments.
Adam, did we fund the municipal auditorium last year, or is this a new request?
This is a new request from me. I don't think the auditorium commission came to y'all last year.
I don't think they did last year. In the past, we have
We
funded
did chairs.
Yeah, I've got some pictures of those.
Some
as well.
repairs on something.
Right.
And I don't know what else. Tyrone, do you know?
I know that.
I know the chairs were funded by
And I
A&P.
want to say the rails that are in the auditorium, they've been done upstairs, A&P did those.
All right, so needed repairs and upgrades is the HVAC system, seating, plaster wall repairs, damaged ceiling tiles, handicap accessibility, and restroom repairs. My request, I'm only asking for $180,000 versus the quotes that were given me, which were well over that. So it's just asking for something to get started.
Are those copper tiles?
They're not copper,
They're metal. No.
well, they're not even metal, they're the acoustic
That
tile,
acoustical
yes.
stuff?
So we'd like to go back with something similar and just replace the damaged ones if possible.
So do you have like where you want to start with these repairs to the auditorium?
I'd like to start with the facade, the stage facade, and the plaster wall repairs and those things first. And then move into the HVAC.
So 1 and 3?
Yes.
Are there currently any events going on that happen?
There's no events going on there at this time because there's no HVAC, there's no restrooms that are readily accessible. And there's just not enough chairs either if you want to do anything.
I mean, I know I saw some bids that were in the past. Have you done any RFPs for any of this stuff about the auditorium?
No. The auditorium was just given to us
Y'all just got that back in.
Could
recently,
we
very recently.
maybe consider looking at this one next year also, and trying to maybe focus on the ones that we're already doing a lot with the city as it is with the baseball parks and Festival Plaza, waiting to see that. I'm just curious, is something that we could table for later next year before we start trying to tackle something like this? This is a whole new
Yeah.
project.
It is a whole new project, and we have, a big project going on right now. Completely understand that. I mean, what would you do, for example, if we gave you money for the stage repairs? I mean, would you go ahead and do that if that's all you got, or?
Yeah, we'd go ahead and do that. Whatever you give me money for, we'll go with that and get that fixed, and then we'll go to the next item and the next item.
I mean, I don't see us doing the whole thing, by any means. And besides that, this HVAC, that's not going to touch, that 50,000 is not going to touch what.
Right.
what the bid
It
was
touched
for.
more of just the engineering of it than anything.
Well, I think there's a little hesitation, just because we don't, when will this be done, and when will a possible event be held?
Like, could we get?
2 years or 3 years,
Yeah.
or?
Could we get
An
like
idea-
like a plan?
An idea that I
Yes.
have, and I've talked to several people about it, is if we can get the inside done, not necessarily the HVAC, but if we can get the inside done, then we can do a series of like YouTube videos that really promote the municipal auditorium. Ryman Auditorium does something similar. So it'd be a way for artists that are coming into town, they can play where Elvis played, where Johnny Cash played, and it I think would really get people interested in the facility itself.
So you could do without seating because there are chairs. There are ways to
Correct.
have an event
Correct.
with the chairs that are there
Correct.
and not repairing the HVAC.
It's not repairing it, it's,
Not
It's
Installing
getting
it,
it,
right?
installing new.
I don't think Elvis had air conditioning, right?
No, they had fans. They had big fans.
Right.
Would y'all prefer that he come back with a more detailed plan about?
I would. That's just me.
I mean, I agree with you.
I'm fine with, if we can put this one on a come back with a little bit.
I'm okay with a comeback, or I'm okay with letting him
Prioritize.
kind of get started with a little bit of money, either
Or,
one.
I'm looking at what I've got circled in my book is 1 and 3,
That's what I have circled too.
and
So-
with the X on the other.
Right.
And that would be as far as I'd be willing to go on this.
It's a start.
I don't know that that'll change if you did come back in January.
That's why I ask, what would you do if you only got a little bit? Would you go ahead and
We'd
start?
go ahead and start. We'd get what we could with the money that's given.
We could do it to see if they do actually start.
Reallocating it next year. Maybe.
So what do we decide?
I wrote a number down.
Okay. You wrote a number down?
I wrote a number down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Write down 1, 3.
Yes, I did. How are we running on time, Tyrone? Are we on schedule?
No, we're about 15 minutes behind.
All right, I'll catch us up on some flowers.
We work
Let's go.
on time.
Wow. Flowers.
Natalie Haywood with the Texarkana Chamber of Commerce. How are y'all tonight?
Good.
Good? Okay. We are starting with flowers? No.
This is not the flowers.
This is not the flowers.
The one before
No.
the flowers.
Right, before flowers.
This is for the brochure.
Okay, that's what I've got. All right, so as you guys know, we promote Texarkana both sides of the state line, and we do that through different publications, through maps, through lapel pins, through goodie bags, through brochures, and this is a summation of all of those publications. We also do advertising, online advertising, trade publications, tourism materials. I put in here our Beyond the Line publication. I have some copies for you guys if you want to take a look at that. This is mainly request for the printing. This is used as a community guide. I'll hand you some copies. So as you can see, as you flip through it, it's got healthcare, education, list of businesses in the back. They're members of the chamber. It's got transportation information, economic development, just a little bit of everything. And we send that publication out across the country. And then, as I've mentioned, we're looking at doing a historical tour. This is taking our traditional CD tour to something that is digital. We do have some other funding sources that are looking at that, so I'm not requesting everything from you guys, hoping to get some matches for that as well. Tourism totals $35,000 for advertising in all of those medias. Any questions on any of that?
I don't have any.
I don't
Okay.
have any.
Okay, so Photographer's Island. As you know, this is the most photographed courthouse in the country, second most photographed.
Is it just $2,000 for flowers?
Yes, $2,000 for flowers. Next. Okay,
Thank you.
sweet. I like it. Okay, so Celebration, is that what we have next?
Yes, and you've reduced that request from the 120 down to
100,
50?
50 to 100.
Okay.
And that, to really explain that, we kind of gave you an option, A, B, how you guys want us to move forward with that as a committee. Y'all are kind of our driving force, our starting point on that. We can serve as just a marketing umbrella, or we can serve as a full event planning committee. So that's really what the difference is in that funding request.
Okay.
Y'all gonna make me go this fast?
I don't have any other questions about that.
Okay. That's okay.
Anybody else?
Sales agency will chime in on any of that?
No, do you want to say anything about that? Okay. All right.
Okay. National Professional Fishing League. Something I didn't mention last week is 88 room nights. I don't know if you saw that, are in the Arkansas Convention Center, and it'll all be housed at the Arkansas Convention Center. So I want you to be aware of that before you just say no.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to be on the state line, just so you know.
I will say I know with issues with events being held, but I know firsthand that it will bring a ton of people. It's like their third year. I mean, it brings a lot of people, but I get that, you know.
My concern is that we said no to this exact same thing last year when somebody else presented it.
I don't remember the request of the other one.
I do.
It wasn't, well,
It was,
you know.
It was the-
running WJ Ranch's fishing tournament, and they wanted us,
At the same lake, and then they wanted to do a
If you
weigh-in.
had a lake in Texarkana, Arkansas, I'd have it at a lake in Texarkana, Arkansas, but you don't.
But they
I
have
can't
tournaments.
fit
They had an NFL
100.
stadium here, we'd have a football game too.
You do have a football
I
game.
know, but
So it's a fishing tournament at Lake Wright-Patman on the state line for the weigh-ins, and what we're asking for is the concert on Friday night on the state line. And that's specific. Without the funding, we don't foresee having a concert, and at least not the caliber that we would like to have.
for future reference, write it up as a concert on State Line next year instead of a fishing tournament.
Or maybe on
Okay.
the stage.
Or
They
maybe
won't
on
come
the
every
stage
year.
then.
This is well, you said the stage probably wouldn't be ready by then, so that's why we
Probably
didn't
not.
put it at the stage. The fishing tournament's not going to come every single year. They like to mix it up. They go all over the country. So this is they really liked Texarkana. They loved it. We hosted well. They love the community, and it's really neat to see these big boats pull into town. We're having the fishing tournament either way. It's just if we host them well and create a concert atmosphere for
You know
them.
what kind of fish it is, what they're fishing for?
Bass,
You ever consider
largemouth.
millwood?
It's too small.
There's like 135 fisher teams that will come, correct?
Yeah, it's 125 anglers that come into town for this. They do Airbnb, they stay at the hotels, they do RV parks. It's a mix of where they stay, but they're all coming in from out of the country, and they're all bringing their families to come and watch them on the weigh-in days. They come for the entire week. They have practice days that lead up, and then we do a philanthropy day on Wednesday.
Any idea on the band?
We really want, I'm trying to get Stony LaRue, is who I'd like. Is this enough money for Stony? I don't think it is. I'm not requesting everything that I think that Stony might want, but that's who I would like. That's the caliber I would like.
Yeah, I mean, I figured you wouldn't have it, but
When is your concert?
It would be the Friday night, April the 20, I want to say
Why don't you
first.
come back in January and present us a concert?
Okay,
How about that?
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
Okay, I can do that.
Table that, please.
Okay. When's your meeting in January?
I don't know.
It's the third Wednesday.
Wednesday in January.
Okay, all right, I'll put it on my calendar.
All right.
If you'll
Good
go
deal.
ahead and send it to me as soon as possible.
Okay.
That way I won't forget to put it on there.
Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. Any other
January
questions?
18th.
The 18th.
18th, okay, that's perfect. Okay, thanks.
What is your idea, Bridget?
I think I'm. Okay.
Okay.
You can
April-
make up time with me too, because I really don't have a presentation since most all of mine is for capital improvements with the park. I will say that I noticed that on my request for the enlargement of Philogamo, I asked for $35,000, and that bid came back at, I think, 24, once it was finally given to me. I can always find somewhere to spend that
Okay, hang on.
additional
Which
nine.
one? The 35 for the enlarging the field?
Yes.
Is now 24?
It's 26,108, actually, is what that bid was.
All right.
So this is the new one right here. All right, that dated one.
Yeah, they had not gotten me the actual original or final bid to me before I had to submit it.
Hey, Adam, your work release guys that do anything that you ask them to do, can they tear down an old concession stand?
I don't think that's equipment.
The agreement we have with DAVA, we're not supposed to do any work in there.
It'd be nice to utilize the city for some things, but they don't do anything for us.
It just seems like a lot to tear something down, but I was trying to save some money there.
Well, we're trying to tear it down and build
Yeah.
the pavilion.
What did we allocate last year? This brand new.
200,000.
But it was for different things.
Different things, right? You
Yeah,
had
well,
lights at some point.
more than half of it went towards replacing the lights on the north end. And then we repaired fencing and covered bleachers, which are what you have pictures of there.
Did you go LED on those new
We
ones
did.
last year?
We did. And so this bid is to replace the remaining lights in the park with LED as well.
Ought to be able to see them from space.
I know, right? They look great. Should save the city some money as well.
Just replace them. I know it.
Is there any other questions about her first proposal?
You got your
And then, okay, so your next request is for the additional loan payment and interest.
Correct. Correct.
And we have to do that.
We already paid.
You already paid 50. I'm asking you to pay an additional 50
to try to pay it off.
to try to pay it off sooner. Correct. And
It's a
I put the
7-year.
$10,000 in interest on there, but I really think I'm going to have enough interest. If I ask to reallocate it for next year, I think I'm going to have enough to roll over
Okay.
from what y'all gave me this year.
When are you going to ask for that?
When am I allowed to ask for reallocated funds?
Better do it right now.
Okay, well, can I reallocate those funds for next year?
What does she have?
Say that again?
17?
The interest,
Okay.
I don't know what I have remaining in that for this year.
I have, what you show remaining, and that's out of everything, is 14,478. I don't know specifically how much of that is for your interest. I'll have to actually look at things to see.
Okay. I really think it's almost $10,000 that is for interest. So I was hoping just to reallocate that to next year instead of getting additional funds.
Is
Can
there,
we get it under other
is there,
business?
yes, is there a specific amount that we need to say
No, just
Okay.
ask for reallocation.
of any unspent funds?
Okay. I'll make that that nomination. That's not what I meant to say.
That motion?
Yes.
If you do it under other business.
Oh, when we get down there.
Write that down.
Yeah, that'd be a
Okay.
good place to do it.
Okay, I'll
So we
remember.
didn't throw this off.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thanks, sir. I saw Anna here, I thought, there she is. I thought you were sitting over here, though, originally.
That's probably where I usually am. Good evening, I'm Ina McDowell with Main Street, Texarkana. And I'm supposed to do this, is that?
Well, I don't think it's working, so if you just let me know and I'll change it.
Okay, okay. I'm just like gonna do 1 minute per slide, and that'll be about 5 minutes. That's the plan. So I have done a brief PowerPoint here just to kind of show you some of the things that we've done in the past and to go over those. Of course, if you have any questions, please jump in and let me know. This is actually last year's city guide. I have copies of this year, and hopefully you've seen them.
I've got, yeah,
There's tons at the front desk. We keep the world's supply. These are actually a great publication that we do the digital version and send it all over the country. We just finished what was formerly Dine on the Line was Oktoberfest on the Line on Saturday. It was a great success, really a lot of fun. And hopefully if I can get volunteers back, we want to do that again. But that was, we changed up Dine on the Line and it was really good. And I know that it drew a lot of people from the area, and honestly, people call me every year wanting to know when it is so they can go ahead and book their hotel and plan for it. And there were at least 3 other class reunions that same weekend, that day, so that kind of helped. Next slide. Yes, I just had to throw this in because it was really exciting. People forget that we do a lot with grants and loans to help with downtown businesses within the Main Street District. We did a lot to help with the grand reopening of TLC Burgers after it had burned. And this was August 1st when they had their grand reopening. I had Dr. Pepper out there handing out free bottles of Dr. Pepper, and people were lined up before 8 o'clock out there that morning to get into the Reopen TLC. So that's pretty exciting. I loved that vision whenever we get a new business opening up. Next, yes, I threw that in a week ago. I went to the state fair for Texarkana Day. It was, I believe, the first time we'd ever done that, and it was really a great way to promote all of our Texarkana, especially our downtown area. And you can see some of our materials that we handed out for the airport, all of our attractions in the downtown area. Of course, the Love Downtown t-shirt that Joseph Raymond painted for me that we sell at Downtown Live. And next slide. And this is a new project that I'm asking for your support for. I'm really excited about this. And this is obviously a picture from Downtown Live, but we have the opportunity to be part of a new show that's going to be on Amazon Prime, which will possibly be international, but it will be called The History of Art in America. There are several other downtown communities that are participating, but it will be based on the artists that are in our area, which of course a number of those are in Arkansas. Will be beginning season 3 in the spring, and I'm asking for help in the funding of this. I think this can really be a great opportunity to bring in a lot of people into the Texarkana area to see the great talent and artists that we have. Also, I don't know if you all see the Texas Highways Department magazine, but in September, Texarkana was featured in that, and it was about coming to Texarkana, and of course it was a Texas magazine, but it featured all of Arkansas restaurants and hotels and things to do, so that was kind of neat. Next slide. I am now working on the Main Street Christmas Parade. The theme this year is All Aboard the T-Town Express. The theme is going to be a train, and each entry will be like if you have a train car and whatever you'd put in your train car. And I haven't noted, but you all's logo is on all of our publications. It seems all of our stuff lands at the end of the year. So that's when it all happens. And next slide. And this is kind of my formal announcement. As you all know, we do the downtown Christmas ornaments. And while that's not directly saying people are coming and staying in the hotels, but this year it's going to be the Ahern House, which is, of course, an Arkansas property, and I'm really excited about it. And they're working on that right now. Any questions? What was my time?
I don't.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The camel's coming back.
Yes, we will have the camels. Yep.
Let you ride. No.
Lisa?
I can make mine pretty quick too. I had requested 20,000, but I was unable to secure exactly what we wanted to do for the 5,000 in promotionals, so we just like to ask for the 15,000 to advertise the annual fair and rodeo.
Okay, now I got to change my number.
Keep it the
You
same.
want to give me 20, I'll take 20, but I just didn't, I couldn't get that secured.
I miss the fair being in the fall.
We do too, a little bit, but the cooler weather makes people so much happier. So we will, actually, it will be held March 31st through April 9th this year in 2023.
What are the, I guess, differences in your attendance?
Our attendance has actually increased overall, having it in the spring, and it also enables us to bring in a lot of vendors that aren't available in the fall because we're competing against the Texas State Fair and a lot of other larger fairs up north.
I thought about that.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. Anybody else want to reduce their request?
Increase
You want her 5,000?
I'm Velvet Cool, and I'm with the Texarkana Museum System. And we have 4 separate properties, one of which, Discovery Place, is under renovation right now. We're just asking money for our Arkansas property, the P.J. Ahern home, which is going to be featured as this year's Christmas ornament by Main Street. So that's really great. And most of what we're asking for next year is going to go towards helping with the Texarkana 150th sesquicentennial celebration. We are going to be doing year-round living history performances that focus on different historical events in Texarkana. Some of the ones that we are planning are a recreation of the sale of city lots, a recreation of the Pope Nolan duel, and other things like that. We are also going to be doing some curated exhibits at the Ahern Home, which will focus on the history of Texarkana over the last 150 years. And we will be rotating out exhibits at the Arkansas Welcome Center and different locations in Texarkana. And we will be having exhibits at the Downtown Welcome Center, which is housed in the Museum of Regional History. We have recently gotten a new sign, and we have seen a lot of increased foot traffic with people coming in and asking what they can do, where they can go eat, where they can get a drink, where they can play trivia, all things I know all about. So, we will be doing...
It was.
We'll be doing some social media posting on Facebook and Twitter. Once the logo for TXK 150 is finalized, we will probably start a Facebook page, and we'll be promoting Texarkana's 150th that way. We're going to come out with a calendar that can be linked to different websites. And our goal for the TXK 150 is to just all events that we can possibly tie to our 150th, we will tie them to our 150th, working with those organizations. And then we will focus on a special event on December 8th at the Perot, and the opening of the time capsule in April of next year. We will market all of these events through print and radio, and we will continue to support other organizations like Main Street and the cities with any historical requests that they have. And we also do a lot of research for private individuals who want pictures of things or want information on how to apply to get their properties on the historic register. We're asking for radio advertising, print advertising, exhibit preparation, which is supplies, not salaries, and the TXK calendar of events. So we're asking for $10,000. And we estimate about 17,400 people will directly benefit from that money. Okay.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, Taronda, I saw that.
I know. Sorry.
You just called her out on it.
Yeah, I had to. Orchestra,
Ready to hear from them? No, I guess not.
track.
She's here. What'd you think I was going to Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Unger. I'm the Executive Director of Track. Devin is passing out the revised budget after last week's conversation. So we are taking our classes that you hopefully know Track does in Texarkana, Arkansas with our schools. We are taking our classes and bringing them into Arkansas, not only in the schools, but to Weir, Washington, and to the Arkansas Recreation Center, the newly renovated. As you know, we grow people and community through the arts. We want to expand that outside of our building even more than we already do. Into Weir, Washington, and Texarkana, Arkansas Recreation Center. Some of the sample art classes, these could vary slightly, but we have a successful track record pun intended, for multiple arts experiences, the art wall, 3D, two-dimensional painting, and we have relationships with some amazing teaching artists that both in this area and regionally and nationally who will work with us on these classes. So as you see, we've requested $15,000 to have supplies, teaching artist fees, and advertising and promotion. You'll see the revised budget, and we're looking at print, flyers, posters, bookmarks to schools, local magazines, radio ads, and social media to get the word out for people to be able to come to the classes, but also to let people know what is happening. That Texarkana is incredibly vibrant, and the arts, as we know, are part of the culture, part of the economy, and we need to be a part of that. And of course, we will have the A&P logo, if funded, on all of those materials.
I don't have any questions.
No questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you know Jeannie Harrell?
I do.
Will you please tell her that I voted to give track money because I took a chewing last year?
She is a volunteer, not a staff member, but I will sure tell her.
In Walmart, nonetheless.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Shame on me, I think. Shame on you. Maybe she's watching. I've known her for 20 years, so.
You know, I
do.
can't control you.
I know.
Try, don't even try.
Okay. The fighters.
Don't make them mad.
Want me to start with the video?
Sure, yeah, if you want.
Welcome to a new era of combat sports. Time and time again, peak fighting has defied the odds and now become the most electrifying promotion in mixed martial arts. People doubted that it would ever become this big, from hosting weigh-ins in local bars to now selling out arenas. Johnny Ross has continued to prove the doubters wrong and deliver what the fans crave most: sheer violence. Sit back, strap in, and get ready for one hell of a ride. Tonight from the Lone Star State, it's PFC Texas, and it starts right now.
She's so happy. She's so happy. We got you a front row seat, though, for this Saturday.
It's Saturday, right?
Yeah. Not violent. She's like, no. My time's
I
ticking.
should wear a mask. I apologize.
It's okay. Do you guys have any questions? Concerns?
And I know we grilled you pretty hard last week, but it's 3 events?
Yes, ma'am.
Proposing 8,000 advertising for each event,
Yes.
basically.
Yes, ma'am. And that's way under what we do, so I'm trying to be whatever, normal. No pay cuts or whatever.
I don't have any other questions. Okay.
Makes it easy when you're here the week before and we grill you pretty bad.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Rick?
Is this some more planners?
Yeah. So I think he is also going to have a reallocation request. Is that right?
I have no change to what I presented earlier, but Ulysses had asked what this anti-litter sign might look like, and this is just this is what we would like to use. The art for it's been worked on, and it will bear that logo at the bottom, I think, that, the commission uses.
So they have unspent funds,
Yes.
and I know in his proposal, it's
Just write that
to
on the
reallocate.
business.
We can address it under other business as
Okay.
well. He has unspent funds of $12,145.70.
All right, transpose two numbers.
12,145.
Yeah.
Did we give them 15 last year?
Last year, they received $12,300.
12,000, I was going to say 12,145.
So they spent $150.
Yes, ma'am,
$155.
on 5423.
Okay.
And we'll try to do better spending money this year.
Jeff usually spends better money.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
didn't know we could give money to Jeff Brown and he not spend it.
That's true.
Okay,
That it?
thanks.
Thank you.
Here we go.
I almost had to put sunglasses on when you came in.
I thought you were going to say you almost wear the same outfit.
Well, yeah, I can't outshine.
You want me to play?
Yes, we're
That
going to
lady.
play the video to show you guys from last year. Basically just from last year, the festival, and like we said, next year, we're gonna do 3 weekends, so that's why we were asking for more money. And hopefully, we will have confirmation on our artists by next month, and we can let you guys know.
Still not gonna tell us who it is.
Not yet, but, do you guys have any questions?
I don't.
I don't.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mills, is your spreadsheet ready? If possible.
I just have to put mine on a sheet that's not all scribbled on.
Me too.
Ms. Mills?
Barbara, since this will be our last meeting, I've enjoyed serving on this with you. You've been a really good
I'm
member.
going to say something. We can't leave yet. We have other business. Can't leave yet.
Yeah, we do still have a meeting.
Yeah. We're not done. No, we're not finished. I was trying to hurry to get Les out of here by 6.
Man. Haven't owned that home, I need to bring.
I've got, every year I've ever been on here, I've got them just stacked up.
I reuse my binders for work.
Somebody gifted me a whole bunch of binders when they vacated their law firm.
Yeah, I wish I had those back. So wish I had them.
Oh, when we bought the law firm and renovated it, they had, when I'm telling you, file folders and binders. Yeah, because they broke all that down and put them in boxes and stored them. And they used to put all that great storage. We recycled a lot of them.
I don't get paid for anything extra.
They'll appoint someone.
This is
I tried to give her mine last year, she wouldn't accept it.
Are you serious? I would like to present her first. She's not a bag full of
Yeah. Yeah.
who goes on. We tried.